Yeah, it's your boy Danny J. Quick, and I'm here with Kyrun Silva. And we want to thank you for joining the Foretales podcast.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
We're about to talk some comics and get a little bit controversial. Everything from indie books to movie deal level commercial. With no rehearsals when we converse to coerce you. And then we do the quick takes and try to get to the person. So join us and get your comic book a few more sales once a week wherever you pod. It's Foretales. Once a week wherever you pod. It's Foretales.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions respectfully brings to you the 156th episode of the Foretales podcast. I'm your host, Kyrun Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the purple proprietor of Ace Blade, Dan J. Quick. Together, we're your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live on the Age to Geekdom Network via Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Danny's TikTok. So if you're listening and watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews, interactions help us reach a bigger audience, you know, like Ant-Man, Batman, Superman, and Lakers in 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lakers lost in 5 for sure.
You all right?
They definitely did not like the beam.
Oh, wow. Damn. All right. You got me there. What is going on with your camera? You're shaking back and forth. What are you doing over there?
No, I was trying to, for some reason, my TikTok was not showing any image. So I was trying to figure out what was wrong with it. But hey, you know, it's one of them days.
Harold P. Jr. in the chat said that was cold. You know what? It's okay because Danny was complaining that he's hot. So I was just trying to cool him off, you know, keep him nice and chill.
Definitely cooled off. But now at least I don't have to pay $70 a month for YouTube TV anymore. I can go ahead and cancel that subscription.
There you go.
The NBA playoffs was the only thing that I really cared about, and you know the rest of them, I can just watch on. I got an antenna. I'll just watch them as I catch them there. So,
you said you're paying $70 a month?
Yeah, YouTube TV is $70 a month. And
wow, what do you need? Wow.
Literally, I was only one thing I'm very good at is like, you know, the subscriptions. Like we keep Amazon Prime. We keep Prime Video and we keep Netflix. Everything else is just until I get done watching the show and it is canceled.
I'm just saying it must be nice to be rich like that to just do like, I'm going to drop almost $100 a month just to watch a couple games of basketball. It's cool. You just flex on us.
No,
I'm just sitting here with my homemade potato chips because I'm poor like that. And you just out here flexing, dropping hundreds of dollars on basketball.
I watched First Things First every day with Nick Wright and Chris Broussard. That was my everyday show. I watched multiple basketball games. Like I got to watch a lot of basketball over the last month. It was mostly, you know, Lakers, Clippers, Hornets, but you know, hey, now I don't have to. Now I can save that money. So
what are you gonna use that money on,
though? Probably alcohol.
Oh, okay. Bro, this is the first time I've ever heard you say you drink. So I'm like, all right.
I don't drink a lot, but you know.
Wait, what do you drink?
I like the old 1800 and some orange juice, and I'm good to go. A couple ice cubes, some citrus drink, and some old 1800, and I'm good to go.
Brad Arney in the chat says, "Don't be ashamed of your wealth, Danny J. Quick," and he's right.
Nobody's as rich as Brad Arney, though. That's Brad Arney's wealth will put me to shame instantly, no matter how rich I am.
Well, see, he has money to buy comics because he doesn't spend $100, almost $200 a month on basketball and TV.
Well, that's why I hadn't been able to. I had to stop backing Kickstarters so I could watch basketball. Now instead of alcohol, maybe I'll go back to backing Kickstarters again.
All right, we should make a basketball related comic book we could put on Kickstarter. Somehow get LeBron James to be in it, like his likeness.
There's somebody already working on that, and I've seen some behind the scenes, but because I'm no longer 100% team spoiler alert, like that's somebody else's job now, I have to keep it to myself.
Okay. Well, we gotta coordinate something together. I mean, you got a lot of ideas. I got a lot of ideas. The man that we're bringing on today has a lot of ideas. There's a lot of talent that's going to be on the show today. We need to work together on something. Maybe bring some more people in. Things like that.
I feel like we've done that recently. Like I feel like somebody had an epiphany and we did that. So
And they like drive everything together. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
I feel like that has happened. So the proprietor of Advent Comics, Mr. Tony Kittrell, in the building. How you doing, young man?
Good evening, gentlemen. How y'all doing? And first of all, I learned something new today. I did not know that Danny drank. So birthday gift is $1,800 for Danny. Okay, all right,
There
got
we
it.
go. There we go. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. No, I don't a lot, but that's my
Every now
one.
and again, right?
Yeah,
There you go.
I'll every now and again, weekends, like I might drink something after the show. I might
Okay,
just,
all right.
just,
Sounds like a plan.
just to relax a little bit, especially since I can't. There's no basketball for me to watch anymore. So
Yeah, I know. It was close, but I mean, you can't come out there playing like that. I mean, them boys were serious. Ant was serious. He told them
yeah,
y'all going
and
home
I
and we
like
make
Anna a
it.
lot. I
Yeah,
like Anna a lot. So hopefully, I hope that's what I'm cheering for the rest of the playoffs. Hopefully they
yeah. I mean,
Mm.
he got a chance to send all the legends home in one season. That's
Yeah.
gonna
yeah
be big.
Going
That's gonna
after
be
Steph
big.
next.
Yep,
yeah
yep.
maybe. So I'll be excited to watch him. I think he's very charismatic, and they got Rudy Gobert to play like
I
he's
know. That's what I'm
7
saying.
foot.
I mean,
So
but to be fair to your Lakers, they ain't had no center, bro. So
not
I mean,
nothing even close.
he ain't do nothing too magnificent. But I mean, he got double. You know,
And
it is what it
what
is.
happened to their center?
Bro.
It's like he had one at the beginning of the year, and then something happened
Like
to him.
it's like he got
No,
traded. I don't know. I don't know.
who
But we're
knows?
gonna leave that
Anyways,
alone. We're gonna leave that alone.
we're here to talk about we're here to talk about comic books. Tony, I know you've been on the show before, man. We've talked
Yeah.
Epiphany Engine, but here you're here to talk about another project. So for anybody who hasn't seen your work before, give us a quick intro to who you are, how long you've been doing comics. What is it, 11 years now? 10,
No,
11,
actually, we are closing in August. Makes 16 years
16
with
years.
Advent Comics.
16.
Yeah,
Woo.
16 years,
Great.
and we doing it slow grind. A lot of people still don't know who Advent is, but that's cool. We're working on changing that little by little.
A lot of people do
Um,
though. A lot of
yeah,
people do know.
a few people, know us, but we're looking forward to just exposing the world to some of our titles. Right now, we currently got like 20 ongoing titles.
Mm.
We have some creator-owned stuff. We got some big things like Epiphany Engine you may have heard of, Cosmos, and we also got some things coming down the pike that's brand new. So I'm excited to share with your viewers some of what we got.
All right. Well, let's talk about those things. You just mentioned them. You got Epiphany Engine that you're behind. You got Cosmos, and both of these seem to be sort of related, where you have a lot of characters from different universes coming together. And we don't know about Epiphany Engine yet because we don't have it yet. But what is it with
Coming,
these
it's coming,
crossover books that you were
it's coming.
so in love with?
Well, to be honest with you, Cosmos started over 20 years ago. So
Hmm.
Cosmos was the first iteration of all this. Back when I first got an inkling of trying to be in comics, I had applied to Marvel. Marvel was going through a transition period and they had this thing called the Epic line where they were recruiting artists and writers. So I pulled out like 20 ideas that I had for Marvel and I sent them all 20 submissions and pitches. Cosmos, the original version of Cosmos, was one of the ones that got a little shine from them, and they were like, "Okay, let us hear more." So I made it through the first round of the editorial discussions. It didn't go anywhere, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. It was a story I wrote surrounding Adam Warlock and the cosmic portion of Marvel's universe. So they were
Okay.
like, "Yeah, we got other plans for Warlock." Little bit that I know, they ended up killing Warlock again, so
Mm,
that's why I didn't fly.
that was the
So
plan.
right. So when I started Advent back in 2009, I was like, well, when I came home, started writing. I was like, well, I got this Cosmos story. Why don't I use that? So it was all geared towards Marvel, and I was like, okay, well, I can plug my characters in there, the ones I'm coming with, but I was like, it's got to be different. I mean, how can I make this just not the same old, same old? So I got the idea of reaching out to other comic book creators and publishers and asking them, do they want to participate in it? Because to my knowledge, nothing like that was done at the time. But, later found out Dave Ryan was like years ahead of me. He brought it to life first with his War of Independence. But yeah, that's how Cosmos got started, and just over the years, I've been reaching out to different people and different publishers and working the magic. Like you two guys, have characters in it, and you guys have kept the secret for a long time. I know Danny's kept the secret for a long time, at least 2-3 years. I've kept the secret for like a year.
I've talked about it before though. Like when you sent me that first image, I was like, I think I did leak it that first time, but
that's fine. I mean, that and actually that helped a little bit because people were like, what? Danny's gonna be aware, so that was cool. And me, I keep things close to the vest because there's like at this point of the story, there's like characters are gonna be popping up all over the place. We're in the final 3 issues now, so characters are gonna be coming out the woodwork. So that's why I was keeping a lot of stuff close to the vest, and I didn't want to get in trouble and break some contracts and get sued by people, so I had to keep things quiet. But with these 2 books, plus every book coming forward, you're gonna see a lot of guest stars.
Jacqueline David, yes, we can see your guys' comments in the chat. Harold Pete says, the Marvel, the Crusher Dreams, hearing Tony's story brings back memories of my first rejection letter from the House of Ideas.
Man, I got so many rejection letters, it's a shame. I got rejection letters from Marvel, from DC, from Image, 2 from Image. So, I mean, it is what it is. Anybody out there, don't stop. I mean, if that's your dream, please don't stop. And you can do it yourself. I mean, they got a bigger machine, of course, but you can do everything that you want and make all your dreams come true. Just don't stop believing in yourself and putting the work in.
Man, I got ideas for some DC and Marvel characters that I think will be good, but like you said, like those same ideas can work in a different context, So
exactly. I got a binder now still of 20 stories. Well, 18 because Marvel actually did 2 of those stories, but in a different version. But I still got that same binder full of stories, and I might pull them out and use them for myself. So you never know.
Well, let's talk about one of the stories you do have. I saw a comment in Facebook, I think it was, that asked, what is the story behind the creation of Titan the Ultraman?
Oh, Titan. Okay. Titan was the first brainchild I had. So, and it's funny, Titan actually sprang to life a little bit prior to, well, actually, the first time I drew the character was, I think I was in 7th grade. Titan was a mesh of like 6 different characters. Luke Cage, Black Lightning, Miles Duncan from, my man Danny. Thank you, bruh. That's cool. Luke Cage, Black Lightning, Miles Duncan from the Teen Titans, back when he was a character called the Guardians, Teen Titans 44 to be exact. So it was like 6 black characters, and I wrote them all into Black Goliath, Tyrock from the Legion. So I took, mind you, this was the Titan you see was the Titan from my 7th grade year. So I took all those ideas, meshed the costumes together, and it was Titan. So he was like going to be like this powerful black Superman type character. So when I started to do Advent, right before I did Advent back in 2009, I went to San Diego Comic-Con. And, actually, I didn't go to San Diego Comic-Con. I went there for my anniversary, took my wife for our anniversary. In the hotel that we were at, Tyrese, the singer, was there. And so they had a bar on the 65th floor. So I was at the bar.
Sweet lady.
No, don't do that, Ty. No.
I asked for a shot of Patron. That shot of Patron was $90. I was like, what is this? I mean, they had like different versions of Patron. This was back when, I was on Patron.
That's like chump change for Danny.
That's a whole month of YouTube TV, man. Stop it.
Yeah, this was a shot. It went like a bottle. It was a shot. And it was like, this is our best Patron. Da, da, da. I forgot which one it was. So I'm sitting there savoring this Patron. $90. I'm gonna savor this. And so Tyrese came into the bar with a couple of his friends, and I was like, okay, I like this dude. I don't want to be jocking him, but I was like, hey, I'm just gonna say hi or whatever, woo woo woo. And I, went over, spoke, and I was like, I'm not gonna interrupt. I just wanted to say hi. Big fan of your music, your TV, your movies. He was like, okay, cool. He said, so you here for Comic-Con? I was like, nah, I brought my wife out for our anniversary. I said, I'm a big comics fan. And so we chatted for like 5 minutes. He was being nice. He was like, why don't you come on through Comic-Con? He said, I'm gonna be there. And I said, oh, you got a movie or something coming out? He was like, nah. He said, I have my comic book. He had a comic book through Image at the time called Mayhem.
That's right. Yep, he did.
Called Mayhem. Yeah, I said the same thing, Danny. I was like,
he did.
Comic books?
Yep.
Like, you like comic books? He was like, yeah. I said, I got a comic book. He's like, come on through. I get you in. And I was like, okay, bet. So I told my wife, I said, hey, we got a chance to go to Comic-Con. She was like, I'm going to be right here by this pool. You can do what you want. So I went to Comic-Con. Tyrese, man of his word, got me in, got me a pass.
I got you, Danny. I know you're looking it up. I got you.
Yeah. So it's a real comic book. I said the same thing, Danny. I was like, nah, yep, that's it. That's it.
He only had like a couple issues of this.
Yeah, I think it only like 2 issues because I picked them up. I bought them from his stand at Image. Just say, hey, thank you for getting me in here, whatever, support him, whatever. And so I asked him, I said, well, can I walk around? He said, man, you got a pass. Do what you want to do. So, and I didn't want to be sitting underneath the man all day. So I was walking around, and I was struck by the fact that I didn't see any black people there other than Tyrese. And I was like, where are black people? They're like, black comic book creators. So I found one other guy. He happened to be a student of Jim Kelly, and he had a book out, Lion Man. His version of Lion Man.
Just so everybody knows, this is Jim Kelly, the actor, not the football player.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, not the Buffalo Bills quarterback. The actor, Jim Kelly, Enter the Dragon, Black Belt Jones, some other, Die Hard movies.
Yeah.
So, and I was talking to him about it, and I was like, I noticed there's no black people in here. And he was like, oh, they're here. He was like, sitting across from me. He said, somebody you should talk to. His name is Kobe Marks. He's the creator of Storm Bringers, Stone Catchers. And I was like, okay. And so I went over, talked to him, and I was like, I see 3 black comic creators. I was like, not to be racist or anything. I was like, but we don't make comic books. And they was like, man, like he said, comic books is a $1 billion industry. He was like, a lot of us can't get in the gate. And he was like, and if you do, you're lucky. And so I was like, man, that's kind of crazy. And he was like, well, you interested in comics? I said, yeah, man. I said, I always, love comics. And life took me in a different direction. I was like, work for the federal government, then went to work for the fire department. I was like, so, the love has always been there, but just different direction. And so he was like, well, you need to come back and go to the black panel tomorrow. And I was like, what's the black panel? He was like, you don't know what it is? I was like, bro. I said, it's my first time at Comic-Con. I have no idea what you're talking about. He said, you need to come back tomorrow. And he said, go grab a magazine. Told me the time. He said, come back tomorrow. You got to go to the black panel. I was like, okay, cool. Went there. Stood in this long line with like at least 100, 200 people. Got in there. And the line just like Saturday morning, 10 a.m. And when I tell you they closed the doors and they was like, all right, let's begin. And they had a DJ in there and it was like a party on a Saturday morning. I was like, what in the world did I come into? I looked across the way. There was Kwame and RZA was in there from Wu-Tang. And it was like all these high-powered black people. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, what is this? And basically it was by Michael Davis, one of the guys behind Image. I knew the name, but I just never knew who he was. So they were talking about now is the time for black creators to make a move in the industry. The time is right in all fields, whether it be comics or acting or directing. They were like, this is the time. And I was so moved by what I saw at the black panel. I was like, man, I gotta do something. And so after it was over, I was preparing to leave, and I spotted out the corner of my eye, I saw the OG there. Dennis Cowan himself was there. So I went up to him, and I fanboyed out, and I never apologized to him correctly, but I should have. I fanboyed out a little too much. He was talking to somebody, and I was like, Mr. Cowan, I said, I hate to interrupt you, sir. Big fan, love your milestone stuff. Sorry to see y'all go. This time it was 2009, so milestone had been gone for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you guys need to bring it back. Basically, us black people, you were the pillar that we all wanted. And so he was like, yeah, he was cool. He was so cool. He was cool as a friend. He was like, yeah, okay, all right, whatever. So the guy he was talking to was sitting back and he was quiet. And I was like, I had this idea. I said for my own character, I said I got this idea for like a black Superman. I was like, his name was Titan Ultraman. Told him a little bit about what I had planned. And the guy he was talking to was like, seriously? He was like, I jump on that. He's like, that's cool. And I was like, okay, I was like, okay, dude introduced himself to me, gave me his card. It was Ken Lashley. And I was
Oh, nice.
right. So the very first and the only image I have, because Ken Lashley was going to do it, he drew the very first image of Titan the Ultraman that I still have to this day framed. Right. Couldn't make it happen, but I was like, I'm not going to let the dream die. So, I basically took Titan out of the vault of characters I have, over 3,000 characters in my little notebooks. And I said, okay, well, how are we going to make Titan original, give him, something to stand on that he's not like every other character out there. So basically, I kind of modeled Titan a little bit off of my personal life.
A little bit.
Yeah, a lot. Titan was, a scoundrel.
He's a firefighter,
got
right?
divorced. He was a firefighter, right?
Well, they say write what you know.
Huh?
They say write what you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The names of his kids are my two actual biological kids. So I kind of put a little bit of my life into it, and it resonated with people because people were hitting me up, was like, bro, that was kind of dope. They was like, we got a black superhero going through some stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, so we got something here. And Titan turned out to be like one of our most popular characters, and he's still going on to this day. And we got more Titan coming. We just finished Titan 5, and you all have to excuse me because some of these titles they'll go like for a while and they'll stop. It's because I was trying to set up my entire universe in order to bring Cosmos to it. The very first book I did was called Pandemonium Evil Incarnate. It was an 80-page graphic novel. The very first page was a setup to the Cosmos story that's going on now. So I knew back then that I was going to do Cosmos by hook or by crook. So the very first page of the first book I did was the introduction to Cosmos. So I had to get everything in order or in place in order to do Cosmos. So I had to, and that was a big knock on me at the time. It was like, why do you keep doing all these number ones? And you don't have, you should be up to like number 5 of certain issues. And I was like, no, I got to set up the universe in order to do what I want to do story wise. So I had to set up Cosmos. I had to set up Savior, War Guard. I had to set up Project Homeland. I had to set up all these different things in order to move the story forward and get everything in place so I could do Cosmos. So that's why some titles only have like 1 or 2 issues, and it seemed like I stopped. I didn't stop. I just had to put the universe in place and story build in order to get to that point. But you can be rest assured that you're going to see all of these different characters go on and different books go on.
That's cool. I think one of the things that I've been wanting to do now that I'm doing TikTok and social media and stuff for comics is I want to talk about like the actual stories that people are writing. I want to talk about just like we talk about Marvel and DC books. I want to talk about Starcore, and I want to talk about Titan, and I want to talk about Isnana, and I want to talk about whatever books are out. I want to be able to. I want to actually read these comics and talk about them because that's the only way that we really can connect other people to them. Like so hearing you talk about, because I think of your books, I've read Titan, I've read Southside, um, I've read The Regulators, I think. So I've read some of your titles, but I haven't read them all. So now hearing you talk about setting up the whole universe, um, I'm interested in like how they connect and seeing if I can see how they connect. Just reading the what you're trying to.
You'll see little gems here and there that connect to different things. As a matter of fact, now that we're at the point where I can say this, there's a character called Apostle that appears in Cosmos 9. You get your first look at Apostle, but he started as a little byproduct in one of the stories that was in Pandemonium Eve on Carnage. He's the energy blip on Jezebel's ship. So if you go back, you'll see that. Or when you look at Cosmos 1, you'll see that the regulators are fighting this group called Sinister Inc. And Sinister Inc. didn't come out until like about 5 or 6 years after Cosmos 1 did. But yet you see back then how it tied in. I mean, it's like little, I was dropping Easter eggs and doing different things, and people probably were like, this don't make sense. But and I tell them all the time, it all connects. It's all connected.
Just got to give it time.
Yeah, you got to give it time.
And I think that's one thing, like Harold just said, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you world build. And it's true.
Thank you, sir.
That's one of the things that you and I actually have a lot in common, that you're building this universe and you have all these different little titles that are going to connect eventually, but it takes that time. And no offense to Danny, but Danny has Ace Blade and his primary focus is Ace Blade.
Danny's
and that's
doing
where his.
You're on issue 9, right? I think I have the first 8. Okay. I got to get 9.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're doing your thing, bro. Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm proud of what you and your company are doing. Y'all blowing the hinges off, especially on the social media tip. Y'all doing it, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
But yeah, it was different when you have that one book compared to when you're building that universe and you have 3 or 4 different titles going on that all interconnect. Like you said, people don't see those breadcrumbs. They don't see the little puzzle pieces that you're putting together until you have that time to put everything out there.
Yeah, I think that takes a lot of patience, man. It really does take a lot of patience. And because first of all, there's a lot of people who, you know, even though they might have one title that they're working on, they might not get to issue 3 or 4. So if you are working on 5, 6 different titles, trying to set up, build the world, build the universe around your characters, I would imagine it could be frustrating sometimes. How do you deal with like the time it takes to get to that point? Is it just that you're working towards something, or is it ever discouraging?
It not even gonna lie, it gets discouraging a lot because there are times where I know what I want in my head, or I know where I want to be, and there's sometimes where situations, life, funds, whatever it is, doesn't allow you to get there. So it's like, all right, and someone gave me a good piece of advice, and I will always take this to heart. Comics is a marathon, not a sprint. So I'm like, okay, cool. As long as I'm working towards getting things done, I don't have to be on anybody else's timetable. I'll get criticized. Oh, you just got 1 issue of this book. You spent 5 years, you should have it done. But I'm also doing other things. I got like 20 other titles I'm trying to link in and put everything together with. So, and that is a knock, and I accept it. But, I see the bigger picture. I know where it's going, and I know what I need to do to get there. So it may take some time, but I'm working on it.
So are all the comics on Advent connected in the same universe? Because I know you got
most of them are. There was only one title. There was one title that I strictly kept. Well, okay, we'll put it this way. All of the ones in the Advent universe are connected. Now the creator-owned books are separate. They're in a separate universe. Now it's up to the creators who own them if they want to cross over or do anything like that. As a matter of fact, Titan is crossing over with Thorn coming up in our 15th anniversary, but because of Epiphany Engine and actual other books I'm doing, it's going to be more like the 16th year anniversary book called Epics. So they cross over. So it's up to the individual creators. I let them decide if they want to be part of what's going on in the bigger universe. If not, that's cool. But the majority of the 20 so ongoing titles in the Advent universe are connected. There was one title that I did not connect, and that was purely because this was a mature reader's book and it didn't make sense, was Southside. But,
really?
But
I thought Southside.
It is now, because after Cosmos War, there was one character who I had to get Malone to be with, and I paired Malone up with the Savage Dragon. So theoretically now, it is part of the Advent universe. Once he met.
Okay.
Savage Dragon, he's now part of the universe, and he speaks on that because in his book, Malone takes place in D.C. and Titan is in a fictional city in Maryland, which is really close. And you'll hear from time to time Malone will say things like he'll stay away from Maryland. He doesn't like tights or things like that. But like I said, he crossed over with Savage Dragon, so he's now officially part of the Advent universe.
Okay. So, all right. So if I'm on your website, how do I know the from?
Go to Advent
you got
Universe at the top. It's like the third button over, and the website is going to be redone. It when I switch
all the ones under the Admin Universe tag.
Yeah, those are the ones, right? The creator-owned stuff, I leave that up to the creators to decide whether or not to carry it. Basically, the contracts and things I have with them, they can do what they want to do as far as selling their books, whether it be digital or whatever. Even though we have, machines or different outlets we can use to sell them, it's their choice whether or not they want to do that. Yeah, those are some of the titles.
So, I know we got to get the quick takes, but I wanted to ask you some business stuff. So, as far as your process when it comes to not making comics but selling comics, what do you? Because I think we all as indie creators, we have our own methods. Like I ship most of our books from here. Like I'm turning over the logistics to Morgan. Morgan's going to be shipping books from now on. But pretty much I was sitting here, I got books here in the studio. If an order comes in, I pack it. I make a video sometimes, whatever, sign them, ship them out myself. But I know when we were with Short Fuse, we had basically a little distribution center. And I know Kyrun packs a bunch of his comics and ship all of his comics. I know Kyrun packs all his comics. So what's your process like? What works for you as far as like
little of everything you said? Sometimes I package packages if people order through the website. I have different places where I sell through Amazon, and I have direct to print set up with Indie Planet, so they can do it. Different places. I have online digital sales with places like Drive Through Global Comics, but also Advent has a website where we can download digital comics as well. As a matter of fact, tomorrow for Free Comic Book Day, there will be free comics available on the website, adventcomics.com, for people to, who don't know what Advent is or haven't checked out any of our early works or interested in some of our characters. You can download a few of the comics. Right now, I think I have like 6 titles that are going to be available. I might put a couple more on there. So this is just a little quick introduction to Advent Comics, or just our way of saying, happy Free Comic Book Day. But yeah, to answer your original question, Danny, I'm sorry. My process is a little of all of that. Like I said, I'll package packages. Some Kickstarters I'm packaging, or I'll have like a team of people package, or I've even gone through Backer Kit. So it just depends on what the project is, but I use whatever way is expedient. We'll get to people their products in a timely manner. So I'm open to anything that makes business better.
Yeah, I'm down with it. Okay. Right now I got my 19-year-old and my 16-year-old. I taught them the process of how to ship stuff, but they're not always as concerned with quality as I am. So they don't care if the books are in like. Sometimes they will put like one book in the front of a bag of board and one in the back, and I'll be like, "You can't stop doing that."
Danny, I'll tell you, I've ordered quite a few things from you, and I have never gotten anything that wasn't quality. So.
Hey, no, I appreciate it,
but
but
kids some credit. They doing something right.
They do a good job. For sure.
I've gotten some things from him that aren't quality.
Yeah, I can see that. But I've never gotten anything from Kyrun that wasn't quality, especially when it comes to art, because he killed these Battle of the Back Row pages. All right, Kyrun, you ready for quick takes?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right.
Oh wait, I forgot to do this. Time.
Yeah, come on now.
Sorry.
You rusty? We took a week off, and you're rusty now. Is that
I'm
what
still
it
thinking
is?
about Fortnite, and I got Fortnite on the brain.
Me too. All right, Tony. I know you've done this before, but for anybody watching who hasn't seen this section, Quick Takes is a rapid fire Q&A session where we grill our guests on their deepest, darkest secrets from the internet. And we ask you a couple questions just to get to know you a little bit better. So you're gonna have 45 seconds each to answer 5 questions, and we'll start with question number 1. The question was supposed to be what inspires you still at 10 years in, but you just said you're 16 years in. So what is it that inspires you to keep working on these comics 16 years in?
I still have stories to tell. That's it. Yeah, I definitely want to finish Cosmos, and then Cosmos leads into the second phase of the Advent Universe. So I still got stuff to do.
Easy peasy. See, I like that. Just keep it going. All right. So, question number 2, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I want you to give me your 45 seconds on. I don't know if y'all saw.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. Yes.
Saw it today.
Okay. So this question is kind of connected to that movie. I won't spoil it for people, but I'm asking, what do you do to escape the void? We talked about it earlier. Sometimes it's depressing making comics and everything doesn't go your way. But what do you do?
And is that the void with a Z at the end? Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Void.
All right. Well,
just
a quick preface. That's part of that actually hit me yesterday when I was watching Thunderbolts, because I could truly relate to some of the things that were said about the void. So what I do, I try to take me days now, because we all have imposter syndrome. We all have our doubts about what we're doing in the industry. I'm no different than anybody else. So I try to take days where I just unplug from everything comic related and just try to focus on my mental health and self-care.
I love it. Definitely got to take some time for yourself, and refresh and relax, man, for sure. All right, question number 3. I noticed, Tony, you post a lot of motivational quotes, but you also post a lot of lions in your
the line is my spirit
motivational quotes. Okay, right. So that's what I was gonna ask you. So, how is it that you keep the heart of a lion? Why is the lion your spirit animal, and how do you keep the heart of a lion?
For me, lion is about courage in the face of life, adversity. Basically, a lot of people are like, "Oh, a lion is the one that does the killing. A lion doesn't do this," but a lion has that mentality. It's like, okay, it's my way. I'm gonna make it my way through sheer force of will. Elephant's bigger than a lion, but the lion is the king of the jungle. And in my mind, it's like, okay, there are other cats out there who are bigger, better than what I'm doing. But to me, my motivation is I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna get what I want, and I'm gonna be successful with doing what I need to do. So the lion is my spirit animal, and a lot of those quotes you see, motivational otherwise, are for me sometimes. Sometimes, like I said, I get down in the dumps. I need to, build myself up. So some of those motivational quotes are not for everybody else. They're for me. They're for me to get myself back on track. And remember, you are that lion. Keep going. Don't give up.
Am I supposed to drop that picture here?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I went over 45 seconds. I'm sorry.
No, you're all right. No, I didn't. I put the picture in the chat just because, but just to illustrate some of the stuff that he be posting. But so no. All right, question number 4 though. There was another quote that you posted about courage being not being afraid to fail. right? And that's something that really connected with me because I'm really, when it comes to, we were talking about earlier, pitching to Marvel and DC, sending people your ideas and stuff. Sometimes I will be afraid that to get rejected, and I know logically that if I were to reach out to people, they would like my ideas, and I can connect with people. But because I have this fear, um, I don't do it a lot of times. So I just want you to talk about getting over that fear of being afraid to fail, and how can other creators get over that?
There is only two things that'll happen. You'll get a yes, and you'll be able to succeed with whatever it is you want to do. You'll get a no, and you just got to try another route. Never be afraid to go out and put your ideas forth, or live your dreams. Like I said, the only thing that beats a failure is to try. And also, when you take that leap of faith, you'd be surprised how it works in your favor sometimes. So, and I've learned to just be bold with it. I used to run into burning buildings for a living, bust through walls for a living. It's not much I'm afraid of. A no is not going to hurt me.
Yeah, that's facts. Hey, if you can run into a burning building,
it's not much a no is going to do. And that's why I have, I'm a spiritual man. So, thank the Creator that I was able to do some of the things I was able to do, because I wasn't afraid to just go out there and walk up to different people and be like, hey, I got a comic book. I want your character to be in it. Okay, yes or no, that's all you can say.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Now, question 5. We usually do a top 5 list for our 5th question. And this is a business related one. I know, like all of us, we've tried different things like to get people into our comics. Now, you've tried a lot of different merchants. I think you had shoes at one point. You got the book bags, all kinds of stuff.
Can I make a confession before we start? You were the inspiration for the shoes, brother. I saw you with those Ace Blade shoes, and I was like, that's fly as hell. I gotta find those. So I searched the internet till I found a place that did something quite similar to what you did. But you were the inspiration for that.
Hey, Kyrun did the art for mine, so I give him all the credit. I give him all the credit. But I would say, but I want to know, in your opinion, and this top 5 is a little different, because I want to know, what would you tell creators to do for merch? Like, which ones have been successful you? So your top 5 merch, but rank them in order of things that you think other creators should do.
One for me, which is popular, box sets. A lot of people want to be able to read a whole story or read a lot of story. They want it affordable, and then they also want extra merchandise, throwing shirts and hats or whatever you want to do. Number 2, trades. If you have enough content, do a trade, because a lot of people want to sit and binge read. They want the whole story at their fingertips. 3, shirts. I do a lot of shirts of all the different titles that we have. 4, I do the book bags. They're called convention specials, where I give them the backpacks, the shirt inside, comics inside, some other things. And for number 5, they're exclusives. I try to do, whenever I do a Kickstarter or something new, I try to always give someone something exclusive, for 1, supporting us and making it happen, and 2, just to say, okay, this isn't the same regular thing that I'm getting from anywhere else. The guys give me something exclusive, whether it be a new title, a comic title, or whether it be some type of new merchandise that we created.
I like it. I'm still in that that book bag I did too. I did book bags.
The place I get them done offline. Well, actually, they're not offline. It's
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Printful, yeah. Like Printful. I did one book bag for when we did Ace Blade number 5, because it was around the time to go back to school. But I need to get back to that, because that's a good idea, like putting everything in the book bag.
I got the idea because well, I don't like talking about this, but this is how it happened though. Outside of comic, I do stuff for my community. So I do an annual book bag and school drive that I've been doing for like the past 18 years now. So I would go to schools and I would give away free book bags. Inside the book bags, I give kids comics and everything they need for school, whether it's pencils, paper, crayons, scissors, all that stuff. And every year I switch up the schools. Sometimes they be in Maryland, sometimes they be in Virginia, D.C. I've pretty much only done the area, my area, the DMV. But one of the kids, I went to a, what do you call it, where the kids go to school right before they, it's like they're checking out their school. I forgot what it's called. Their new school. It's like an open house. Yeah. And so the principal invited me because this particular principal, I've been giving to her school for years, backpacks and stuff. So I chose to give the kids who were coming to school in about a week, backpacks and help their parents out. And so when after I got finished speaking to him, one little kid came up to me and was like, "How come you don't have none of your superheroes on your backpacks?" And I'm like, "That's a good idea." I was like, "Damn, that's a good idea." And so I started checking into it and found out how to do it. But that's where the impetus of the backpacks came from. The little kid was like, these are nice book bags you got from Five Below or wherever you got them from, but we want your characters. And I was like, okay. Like, all right.
I like it.
Love it.
I like it. All right, back to you, Kyrun. All right, back to you, Kyrun.
No, you forgot something else.
I forgot something. Oh, we're doing the top 5 Tyrese song?
No. This.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
He got some bangers, especially some of his new album.
No, we're not doing Tyrese.
Oh, okay.
Our sponsor.
No. My bad. See, I still got Fortnite on the mind. Quicktakes is brought to you by Gemini Comic Supply. If you go to Gemini Comic Supply and use the promo code AceBlade, you'll get 10% off your entire order. Yeah, I did forget. Now it's back.
Thank you, Danny, for doing your one job. Well, you got more than one job. Hey, we do want to make sure that everybody understands that tomorrow is Free Comic Book Day around the country. So if you're near a comic book shop that is participating, please go down, support your local retailers, and not just get one of the free comics, but buy the comics, because your retailers and your shops do not get those free comics for free. They actually buy those out of their own pocket. And so make sure that you guys are supporting that shop for giving you the free stuff. But with saying that, Tony, are you going to be anywhere tomorrow for Free Comic Book Day?
Okay, I hate to be a downer, but no, I'm not going to be anywhere for Free Comic Book Day. My oldest brother just got put on hospice, so I'm going to be with him all day tomorrow.
Okay. Family over everything.
Yep.
All right. Danny, what about you?
Yeah. I'm gonna be at Acme Comics in Greensboro. They're doing a Free Comic Book Day block party, and I'm gonna have some copies of Pakuma by Wally McNair. This is a sampler that he did, and we're gonna be giving away some of these. We'll have probably about 30 copies or so.
Come live,
definitely do that.
I can buy one.
Hey, they're live right now, or the pre-order's live right now.
At the TikTok shop?
You can do pre-order.
Okay.
It's on the website. I'll send you the link.
And then if anybody's in Sacramento, come down to Fruit Ridge Boulevard. I'll be at Comics and Collectible from 10 a.m. to probably about 3 p.m. I don't think I'll stay longer than that, but the shop is supposed to be open with a lot of stuff. But come on down. I will have some free stuff for people to have, and I'll have some of my books there too. But Tony, we want to thank you for being on again. I think this is like your third time on.
For extending the opportunity to be on your show. And also, I hope you guys have a great Free Comic Book Day tomorrow. And Kyrun took the words out of my mouth. Please, everyone listening, go out and support these comic book shops, because without them, the three of us do not have a place to bring our books to you.
Yep.
Basically, they are the lifeblood of the comic book industry. So please support your comic book shops. Whether it's one book, whatever you can afford to buy from that shop, please support them, because we need them. We need them.
And we want to make sure our listeners follow your work. I put it in the chat, but for everybody that's listening in through the podcast, where's the best place to check out your work online?
Oh, man. We're spending a lot of time on Facebook. my personal page, Advent Comics page, the Advent Universe group. We're still on X and Twitter. You can get our books from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, still up on Comixology, Drive Through Comics, Global Comics, Indie Planet. We still are in Walmart, Kindle, the iPads, Apple Store. You can find us. You can find us a lot of different places. We just ask that you continue to support in Kickstarter. We only have one book that's a Kickstarter only book, and that's Cosmos. So those who supported it, thank you. We appreciate you. And look for issue 10. Issue 11's already drawn. Alan Goldman just started drawing Cosmos 10 today. So we're coming at you hard and fast with some good stuff.
All right, cool. And Danny, where can people follow you and check out your work?
Always on fourthwallpros.com. If you want to get me on social media, it's at the Ace Blade on all social media platforms.
As always, you can check me out at fourthwallpros.com or tauruscomics.com. It don't matter. I'm mostly there. But you can also check me out on any social media platform at Taurus Comics. And if this is your first time checking out our podcast, you can go to our website, fourtalespodcast.com. That is number 4, TALES podcast.com, where you can go back, listen to our previous episodes, support us financially by maybe buying us a coffee or some merchandise. But please join us next week where we're going to have...
Can I say one quick thing?
Sure.
One quick thing. I forgot to say this because I was talking to you guys. To you guys that don't know, both Danny and Kyrun, Fourth Wall Productions, and Taurus Comics are part of Cosmos. And their characters actually appear in the just finished Kickstarter. So if you were able to get a book from there, you're going to see these two guys and their characters appear in those books.
Starcore, right?
Yeah.
Starcore, right?
I'll put up an image right now of Starcore there.
And Danny's Danny and Morgan, Morgan's Lumberjack and Danny's Ace Blade both show up too. Same book, Cosmos War. One-Shot.
I love it.
But join us next week where we are going to have Morgan Iverson and possibly Whitney. Whitney sometimes comes up with Morgan. But until then, everybody, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Thank you. Stay safe, everybody.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.